Hello, welcome to the build guide part 2. This is pretty much a progress update at level 82. I'm in elite difficulty, working my way through the mammoth stuff. This is the gear. What I've done, that was the shield I was originally running around with because it had +1 to all skills in Demolitionist. However, the level 75 totally normal shield, arguably easier to acquire than the Dawn Shard, has got +1 to all skills in Soldier, so that's worked out better. What I'm going to do is I've got the level 75 Dawn Shard. I'll go and kill the same few bosses, not in this video, I'll do another one. Kill the same few bosses and clear some enemy groups with both shields and just see which is better. I suspect the totally normal shield will come out slightly better because the big buff to, well, you can see +1 to all skills on that screen is going to be better than +1 to all skills on that screen. The shield, that is a recent upgrade. There's the one I was originally using, the one on the right item in inventory. The one on the left is the one I have got equipped at the moment, level 82 item. The old one was level 70, I think. Actually no, it wasn't, it was a 55. That 70 is from that troll wart powder. So that's the level 55 shield, I believe. Actually, let's go and... You can remove augments. This is actually worth doing because I can show you how to remove augments. Stick that, where is it? Stick it in there, remove augment, yes. Oh, it's a level 70 item, I was wrong. Okay, that's just me not knowing what I'm doing. But that's how you remove augments. If you remove the augment, you don't lose the component. If you remove the component, you will lose the augment. It's just the way Grim Dawn does its thing. So that's the shield I'm using at the moment. I liked that. That was a shopping abuse shield where I went... Actually, I'll show you what I did. If you go into normal difficulty, it's a great thing about Hiram's shop. If you go in normal difficulty, his shop content will scale to your level. So you don't have to go all the way through clearing elite to get him to spawn to get the higher level stuff. So if you look at this, that's level 8. There's an 82. Shit, actually, I ain't got any of mine. Let's do what I found in the original video. I said, I'll show you what I mean. I said you had to go to an indoor area. I thought you did, but you can go to any area. You can go to an outdoor area. As long as you count to 5, and I always thought you had to go and interact with 2 other shopkeepers to get the shop to refresh. Maybe Hiram is different. I don't know. So you count to 5, go back. You'll have different stuff now. See? He's now got a fortress, which he didn't have before. Keepers. Keepers is alright. Keepers is the original. The original one, the 55 one I had was a Keepers one. It had that Earth Ward thing on it. If you look at that, 24% physical resistance, which is way better than my 7% physical resistance. When I get into Ultimate, I suspect that will be a lot more significant. It's got poison and acid resistance on it as well. That's a pretty decent item. But yeah, so you can go to any area, apparently, count to 5 and go back, and his stock will refresh, which totally isn't what I thought. I thought you had to either go through a portal, or not a rift, an actual portal into another area, or go into an indoor area, or go and talk to 2 other shopkeepers. But it seems to be, for Hiram, his stuff does refresh when you just go somewhere, count to 5 and come back. Anyway, let's talk about the rest of this stuff. That is still my level 35 chosen pauldrons. That actually is Venom Guard powders, level 70 on that. Those are the level 35 ones. I'll show you why I can't get the other ones. Snip across to, oh, where are you? There you go. I'll show you what they got in the shop because it's vaguely interesting. And yeah, the reason I've not equipped the level 70 stuff yet is I'm not revered with them yet. I'm almost there. So that's the thing I've got. The chosen pauldrons and the elite chosen pauldrons. Where have they gone? There they are. They would be a heck of a lot more armor, similar-ish amount of health, although that may be quite a low version of it on that one in the shop. What have we got? Physical resistance, the same. Chaos resistance, physical damage, retaliation. There's a lot more and there's a fair bit more percentage retaliation damage, but it's still got the same +2 counter strike, +2 blast shield. I haven't found anything better than that. That was slightly better than the Dreeg thing for me with the resistances, and it's got +3 to counter strike on it. Still got quite, oh no, they're a recent-ish update on those things. They're level 60, that's the farmable thing from the Dreeg boss. I need to ditch that. It's got nothing on it I need apart from that poison retaliation at the bottom, the toggle skill. That belt was an upgrade to the original one I had. That has got nice 38% elemental resistance on it. That is an upgraded one of those, I think. Definitely. Still got them. Although the Rover's boots are okay. That's a level 82. That was in stash. I think I had that in the first video I did where I was looking at retaliation gear, or maybe the elite let's play, and I saw them and was disappointed because they were so far in the future, and I'm 82 and I'm wearing them. They're pretty good. Otherwise use the, I think it's the Homestead gloves if you haven't got them. There's one updated Gollus ring, level 75 item. That's the old original one, but I do have an upgrade Gollus ring waiting. Where is it? There it is, that 84 item there. 83% pierce resistance. So that will sort out my pierce resistance for ultimate difficulty. So yes, if you get drops of items where they've got a crazy high single resistance, don't dismiss it. Because if you can write that resistance off as needing to be buffed, you haven't got to go looking for components, you haven't got to go looking for augments to waste just bringing a resistance up. And piercings, you're going to need that high. My ether isn't as bad as it looks. It is 40, and it's 40 in elite because that bottom row doesn't get any penalties in elite, but it does get a 25% penalty in ultimate. Top row gets a 25% penalty in elite and a 50% penalty in ultimate. 25% penalty in ultimate. Right, let's go back into elite, talk about a few things that have changed. Yeah, I've been putting all the, yeah, there's that original one I put. I don't know whether it was an accident, but I put that in at the start of the game. Ignore that. You should be sticking them all in Physique. I mean, you can change your mind later on if you want, but for now, stick them all in Physique. Get that defensive ability up. So the gear, oh yeah, that's a Dreeg faction headguard. Quickly run through it, easily find that, buy that from the shop, buy that from the shop, buy that from the shop. You can target what sort of area farm it, but I'd say buy it from the shop. It's easier to get one that you're going to like. You can just keep making that guy re-roll his stuff. Target farmable, I've got that in a video. I still haven't, that is the really old Ronoprac Sting. Sort of area target farmable. Good place to get them. I'll show you a good place to get them. It's a bit late game, Gate of Necropolis. You go there, work down through the Plains of Strife, and you'll get a few of those things to drop. There are other areas where those things run around. On the way to Homestead from Prospector's thing, if you run through these fields, don't forget to turn your toggle skills on. I'm going to have to craft a citadel or something. I want a decent retaliation relic. This malediction is just a waste. It's not great. I can have so much better relic than that. Yeah, those boys there. See, he was wearing one. You could see it. They sometimes drop that chest armor. So you can do a run through here earlier on, try and get it to drop. He's got one on there, look, didn't drop it though. Right, so you can go and get that, or just go and buy either the Caimans. If you got revered with Caimans and you get into this sort of level range, get their chest armor. So that's the gear sorted out pretty much. It's pretty straightforward. The skills, look at Demolitionist first. There's no real difference there from when I was starting to level this thing up. Max that out. to its soft cap, to its soft cap. Put a few points in that. I'll put more in there eventually. I've managed to get that hard capped with gear, which is good. I got 1 point in that. I think I need to put more points in that because that adds retaliation damage to attack. Yeah, and that'll be handy. So I'll get some more points into that. This thing, that was a 1 pointer. I've just maxed that out. Again, late game, I might have to rethink resistance reduction. Those are 1 pointers. That's maxed out to its hard cap. As is that, maxed out to its hard cap. I've been working on maxing that. That's really good. That skill is amazing. I've got a couple of videos. Well, no, I've got one video of the Craval fight. I've got a couple of times I fought Craval, and you see your health dipping below halfway. You kind of wait. If you wait, knock Overguard off, get that going when your health drops down, and it will go straight back up to max, and it will just stay there. It will just sit there and it won't drop. It's amazing. Get that maxed out. You want as much physique and health as you can get. Shield block chance. I've got a couple of devotion skills that work off blocking, so yeah, great. That health regen, don't worry about so much about the physique requirement for armor, don't care about that. But the health regen stuff's brilliant on that. Get that maxed out. I started to put points in that just for the elemental resistance, and that I think is, yeah, that's maxed out. So that's really there's not an awful lot going on there. Later on, like I said, I might stick a point in that, raise that up, and use that for the resistance reduction, because you got a bit more control over, well, you can spam it for a start, and you can chuck it wherever you want to throw it, for as opposed to Warcry, which centers on you. You could throw it into a group and then blitz into the group. I don't know, I'll mess about with that and see. The other thing is that thing there with the percentage elemental resistance. You could have both of those things on the go. That elemental will work just with the fire damage you're doing though, and lightning. Devotions, I have changed something on here. I'm not going to be stupid and say, can you spot what I've changed? I'll tell you what I've changed. When I first started this, first thing I did was I grabbed the purple point and filled him in there to get those purples. But this is better. So I took the points out of that. The way I did that, obviously I went up and I took some points out of the outlying one, Obelisk of Many. I took the points out of that, so I had points to play with, so I didn't have to mess about undoing loads of things. Then I populated Anvil, which gave me the purples, which meant I could then take the points out of Wolverine and put the points back into Obelisk of Men here. If you don't do that, because you need purples for a bunch of things around the screen, the only other alternative is undo the whole thing and start from scratch again. I just couldn't be bothered doing that, so I wasted, I don't know what, 10 ether crystals on that. But yeah, that thing's got this attack skill on it that pulls in quite a sizable percentage of your retaliation damage, and early on in the game it's going to be really good, and it will level up quicker. It's, what's it on now, 19, no sorry, 18 out of 25. If I picked that right at the start, that would have maxed out a while back, I reckon. That's pretty good. That's chance on attack to Warcry. That's chance on block. That's chance on block. So I've got a couple of them that chance on block. So getting your block chance up will increase the chance of these things going off. Should make sense. That's just on any old toggle skill. That's the only thing I changed. So everything else on there is what I said from the start, apart from I ditched Wolverine and went for that instead. I was going to talk about the movement skills. Blitz, and I've got a ramming speed. Now what that is, you ever look at the glyphs? So that thing, what's on that? Glyph of the Northern Ram. That, because it pulls in retaliation damage, like a quarter of it, 25% of retaliation damage added to attack. So I charge into something, it's like almost 25,000 damage going off just ramming into them. That for me was better than that level 1 Dreeg thing. If you've only still got the level 1 Drieg one, which is an imitation of Blitz, is fine. These things work differently. What I'll do, I'll demonstrate what I mean by that. Let's go somewhere where there's a bunch of enemies. In a row, preferably. Right, here we go. Right. So I'll get them to follow me. If you use Blitz and you pick a guy at the back, he goes past all of them and hits the guy at the back. If you use this northern... Well, they're all going to be dead. Hang on a minute. Right, well, that's what I was saying, yeah. So if you've got a bunch of enemies and you use Blitz, it sort of goes past all the enemies until the one you targeted, it hits that one. Whereas this thing, if you read what it says here, ram through your foes towards the target destination, scattering the ranks. When you can use, see, Blitz. This is me trying to Blitz. You can't Blitz without a target. Now, this ramming speed, there you go. It doesn't go as far as Blitz, but you don't need a target. And anyone you run past, it will hit. Watch this now, hang on, here we go. There you go. So I ran through them, and all the ones it hit took damage, whereas with Blitz, you just tend to end up the other side of them. That was Blitz. There you go, that was that ramming speed thing. Hit more than one. Blitz, and there's the other one. And having two of those is very handy for things like the Zarya fight, where she'll spawn two obsidian shards. You can Blitz into one and then ram into the other one. Yeah, that thing's spinning round. That's Targo's hammer. You'll get quite a few of them. Let's see if I can get them to spawn a few. They hit me a lot. There you go. Well, I got two going now. Look, it's quite pretty, isn't it? And they stay up for quite a while. So that's your Targo's hammer spinning around. 33% chance on block. I recommend getting that instead of Wolverine's. Pretty good. Breaks up the monotony of just standing there. Now, anything else? I don't think so. So the skills, I've got Blitz, I've got the other movement skill, I've got Warcry, I've got Blade Barricade, which is off that, where is it, over here? Mark of the Myrmidon gives you that Blade Barricade. That's still the best thing I could find to have on there. There are other things. I've had to put a Purified Salt on there. That's the thing that's given me that extra ether, well, extra, I've only got 40%. That does need to go up a bit. The Theoden Marcel fight, I might do him at 40% just to see how bad it is. I don't think it will be much fun. I think it will cause me quite a bit of grief if I don't sort that out. If there's anything specific you want to ask, do what you always do, ask in the comments. More than happy to respond to all that stuff. And I'll get a few more different highlight videos out. If I come across anything that needs target farming that I'd forgotten, I'll mention it. I know the Gollus rings are a pain in the neck, but they are worth getting. You get a couple of them, it gives you a big boost to your health regen. And that +3 to Vindictive Flame, +3 to Menhir's Bulwark is really good. Here's a fashion tip. If you don't want to look like a complete prat with this, see that shield, it looks like the Sunday roast or something that someone's dropped on the floor. It's ugly, isn't it? See, yeah, I mean, it's not very nice to look at. If you get bored looking at that, you can go to the Illusionist here. Click on shield, and then what you want to do, you want to find the one that looks the same as that, which is on, for me, it's on the first tab. It's called a Tower Shield. Imperial Tower Shield. There you go. So that's, so if you where's it gone? If you choose that, there you go. So you end up then with your weapon and your shield look exactly the same. It's really up to you. I mean, it doesn't improve anything apart from how it looks, obviously. You might like that. I did run around like that for a bit, but nah. I'll just go with my hardcore Sunday joint strapped to my arm. Well, hopefully there was something useful in amongst all that nonsense. Thank you very much for watching. I'll catch you all in the next video.